Let me know if that is better. This is my, let's see, have to figure out where I'm at here. Probably have to move this a little bit too, because this is my microphone. This one I have to be closer to for you to actually hear me, because I have like this much space to where you can hear my voice. Okay, I see Andy says that it sounds good. Better? Okay, awesome. All right, well, I hadn't tried it with my camera audio before, so now we know that doesn't work. Yay! Man, so many people. Thank you for coming. We are working on the Fairfield today, and it's looking a little interesting because I've got some Crackle already on it because I want to make some crackly siding. And so you can see the difference between where I don't have the Crackle on this side and then the side that I do have the Crackle on. And I'll go over that. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, when I watched it in the drive-in a long time ago. Yay! Awesome. Okay, so I'll tell you my plan and you can let me know what you think. My plan is for us to completely paint this side of the house. The reason for this being, it's going to take a long time to paint the entire thing, but if we get through painting this side of the house, this will kind of be my blueprint for painting the rest of it. And I want to paint it a little bit, I mean, it's supposed to be, okay, I should start from the beginning. This project is supposed to be a Victorian house that was redecorated in the 70s. So the exterior is going to be a little bit more Victorian. The interior is going to be 70s. It's going to be very colorful. And my residents are little bitty skeletons. This is half scale, by the way. And I just recently realized, because they're skeletons, I definitely want to go like corny, spooky. So spooky, but not like scary spooky, more like fun Halloween party type spooky, where it's like colorful and exciting, but then there's like little hints of spookiness. So that's my plan. And so that's why I decided to do Crackle on the outside of the house. I want it to look like an old haunted Victorian house, but still have like the color and the excitement going on. Let's see, I'm missing lots of comments. Hi to everybody. Oh, there's too many names for me to shout everyone out. Thank you for being here. Trying to see if there are any questions before we start. Man. Yay! I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay. I do have it up on some books, so you may be wondering what's underneath here. I have some coloring books underneath, trying to keep it level so that I can paint on it. And I went ahead and I talked a little bit on Patreon with my patrons about my ideas for the color, and so they gave me a few ideas. My original idea was to do a yellow and gray combination, and so this is what I ended up picking out. And then I had a suggestion on Patreon to add some lavender, because basically the Victorian painted ladies were called painted ladies for a reason. They had just all sorts of different colors. And then I decided also to add, it may not be showing up on camera, but it's kind of a darker version of this. So these were my colors that I was thinking. And so what we get to decide today is where these colors go. And so we have the siding area, we have the details made on the outside of the siding, the details that go around the window openings, and then this lower part here is all like paneling. So first of all, I think we should decide what we should do for the siding. And then, depending on how much time we have, I want to try and also paint the windows that go into these spots, in theory. There we go. Let's see. I'll see if I'm missing any comments or questions. I'm missing lots of comments, actually. Casper type spooky. Yes, exactly. Probably a house you would live in. Definitely. Overstuffed cushions. Yeah. We'll do some of those. We've already got shag carpet. We got to do some overstuffed cushions. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness, I need to talk so much louder. See if I move this over here. I can't get my microphone up any higher because I'm standing, because I have to paint on top of the house. So paint the body of the house gray and use brighter colors as the accents. So maybe the siding gray, and then the outside parts, because whatever I do up here, so this part up here and this part down here, I wish I could fit the whole thing on screen, but I can't. I want them to kind of match. And so then we have the siding here in the middle. Let's see. I like biggest contrast between window and shutters on a Victorian, or 2 shades on window molding. Okay. Jewel colors. I like the gray with bright accents. Cannot sleep in France. How are you? I am doing good. I am a little tired, and I don't really know why. I was out in the heat today, and honestly, just being out in the heat for an hour, I wasn't even in the heat for the entire hour. I was just out and about, and exhausted me. It just literally zapped all of my energy. But I'm standing for this whole thing because I have to be tall enough to paint the house. So hopefully that'll get some energy going. I started the house actually last New Year's. It was like my project for the year, and then it's kind of spilled into this year, which all my projects do. They just keep going. Is the front going to have a balcony? Yes. So this part right here, this right here is going to be a balcony. And so this originally comes with a window cut out, and I cut out a little bit more so I could make this a door that goes out onto the balcony. So yeah, it will have a balcony with a railing and everything. Okay. Okay, I see a lot of people saying to do the gray siding. So we are going to just start with that, and then we can do some more planning as we go. So this is called Colonial Blue. And hopefully while I'm painting, I'll be like scrunched down a little bit more by the microphone. I just need to get a longer boom arm, I think. That's what I need. Where do you live? I am in Texas, and it is warm in Texas right now. I hear it's warm a lot of places. It's very hot here. I think you should paint it lavender. Just Google Victorian homes, and they painted that color, and they look cool. Colorful pink or yellow. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to use the yellow a lot in the upper places. But I actually don't mind painting this a couple times if we need to. So we're just going to experiment. That's why I'm experimenting on one entire wall. And then once I kind of figure out what I like, and then I can do this on the rest of the house. So let me tell you a little bit about Crackle. If you haven't used it before, This is the only Crackle medium that I trust. It is the Folk Art brand Crackle medium. I've tried a few other ones and they just did not work. And the way that you use this is you paint your underneath color first. And so I decided to do brown. And then you put this over top. If you use a thinner coat of Crackle, you get smaller cracks. If you do a thicker coat of Crackle, you'll get bigger cracks. So I put a very, very thin coat of Crackle, but also it's just kind of one of those things that just kind of does what it wants to. So we'll see how it turns out. It's something I can't really test beforehand, so we will see the crackling live. And this bottle is about 2 years old, so I don't think it goes bad. I hope I shook it up. I don't remember if I shook it up. Can you stack some books under the mic? Unfortunately, it's like hooked to the side of my table. And I'm afraid if I hook it to this side, that I will hit it a lot. But let's see. Okay, let me mute it real quick, see how hard it's going to be to move this, because I do want you to be able to hear. So hold on 1 second. Okay, that worked after a little bit of chaos. Can y'all hear me a little bit better now? Let's see, Carol Green, I like that idea. What did Carol Green say? Can you stack? Oh, okay. Hopefully that's a little bit better. You'll just have to excuse me if I hit it a few times. Let me move this thing, because I'm going to hit this a lot. There we go. It's not a stream without some technology issues. So now it's officially a stream, right? Okay. Yay! Okay. So we're going to start with gray. We can always paint over it. That's the nice thing about painting, is you can just paint over it. So okay. All right, with Crackle, you want to do your base coat, then you want to put Crackle over the top of it. Okay. And then you want the Crackle to completely dry with this specific Crackle. Different Crackle mediums do different things. And so some of them you put it on after you paint, some of them you put it on between paint coats. It just really depends on the brand you have. You have to read the back. But the brand that I like, you do your base coat, you put the Crackle, and then you do your top coat on top of that. And basically what I believe that it does is it sucks all the moisture out of the paint, and then the paint just kind of pulls apart, and that's what makes your cracks. So I did a very thin coat of Crackle on this, and I did it earlier just because I couldn't remember how long it takes to dry. It did dry pretty quickly, so if I do need to Crackle something else like these windows, it won't take forever to dry, so that's good to know. Let's see. I can hear you all the way in England. You must be shouting. Let's see crazy. With such a big speaker, you think you could hear you from the next room. I know, it's huge, but it only likes to pick up my voice when it's like this far away. Okay, when you're applying your top coat onto the Crackle, you really only have 1 or 2 swipes. If you are continually going over and over the paint, it's going to mess up your cracks because it pretty much starts cracking right away. So I like to get plenty of paint on my brush before I start putting the paint on. Now, luckily, these are very thin areas. There's not a lot that I have to go across here. And so I'm not too worried about, like on the Addams Family house, wherever I did Crackle, I wanted to get enough paint on my brush to go all the way across the huge areas that had Crackle. But here, I should have plenty of paint to just go across this little area. Now, before I do start, I think I want to put some Post-its just to protect the edges here. If a little bit gets on the sides, it's okay. We'll be edging it a little bit. What's happening? Oh my. Okay. I'm gonna put some Post-its on here, and the nice thing about using Post-its is you can move them all around, and because they are already sticky, you don't have to worry about putting oops. My head's gonna be in the way a lot. I hope that's okay. It's a very weird angle. It's been an interesting couple of months of trying to figure out the best stream angle for miniatures. Okay. Chat's too funny. I can't even watch the stream. I'm gonna have to go back and read the chat. All right, I'm just going to try and do 1 swipe across and just keep going. If it doesn't completely cover, I'm okay with that. In some places, in most places I want it to get fairly covered, but I'm trying to just do that 1 swipe. And everyone cross your fingers that it starts to crackle, because otherwise we're gonna have to make a different plan. All right. Slow and steady. Okay, come on, Crackle. Do your job. What size Post-its are those? These are, let me put on the mat. They are 2 inches by 1.5 inches. And I also think there's supposed to be like a little roof, like a miniature roof right here. And I just went ahead and decided I'm just gonna paint, and then I haven't got obviously to that part of the kit yet. So whenever I get there, I'll just build the roof and it'll cover up a few lines of siding, so it's all right. I see some, maybe I put it on too thin. I see some really, really tiny crackles. Okay, so we're just gonna keep going. My head's gonna get in the way. Oh, they're very tiny crackles, but remember we're in half scale here, so small crackles are actually going to be the best. They may not show up super well on camera, but when you're looking at something one-on-one up close, it's going to look a little bit more realistic to have teeny tiny crackles. And I'll lift it up in just a second when it crackles a bit more. Oop, this one right here, that's got a good line of crackle right there. And it may just vary the entire project. You are having too much fun in the chat. Already, I can tell. Okay, I'm going to put a few more Post-its here. Can move these down because I'm done with right there. Try and make sure I stay on screen at least. And then I'm putting some on the side of this bump out right here, because that'll probably be completely different colors. Crackle shots. The Crackle crafting brain is strong. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna have to go back and reread all the chat after the stream. Alright, so let's keep going. If you use the post-it trick, this goes pretty fast. So I am a fan of the post-its. I'm thinking about doing a video of like fantastic holiday gifts for miniaturists or something. Post-its would be a great stocking stuffer. I need to remember to put that on my list. And now that I said that, my entire family is going to get me post-its for Christmas. Oh, I see. You're doing shots when I say Crackle. Oh, well, there you go. There's another one. Maybe I'll have to reread the chat with a margarita or something. So we're in Texas. We gotta have a margarita. Okay. What do y'all think of the color so far? After I get down this line, I'll hold it up a little closer to the camera so that you can see the cracks. Does cracks count? Dollarama in Canada has fantastic craft supplies for miniaturists. Ooh. I like our Dollar Tree. Oops. I need to put another post-it. Hold on. I'm not paying attention. See, and there's a little bit that's on the side. That's okay. I just didn't want it to get too messy to where it covers up the brown that I painted. So I'm just continuing to try to do one swipe so I don't mess up my cracks. Okay. It makes you wonder what YouTube thinks this video is about. Stephanie, they are not, my laser cutter broke. And so I marked everything as sold out because I didn't want anyone to purchase things that I couldn't fulfill. And I still have a few orders I need to fulfill, but my new laser tube came in today, just like a few hours ago. So probably after the stream, my husband is going to be installing the new laser tube, and as soon as we know that the laser is up and running, I will restock everything in my store. So you're still good. I want to make sure that before I allow other purchases that I can fulfill the ones that I already have on back order. Every crafter needs 3 wash bottles on their desk, 1 for water, 1 for acetone, 1 for isopropyl alcohol. They are the best thing in my workshop. Definitely. Just make sure you label them. Era the Absurd Crafter. Ooh, Summer Storm. I like that name. Okay, I'm going to... Did y'all see the cracks a little bit better? Okay, good. Awesome. All right, I am going to turn this a little bit so I can see this part right here. I'm going to move some Post-its so that they are a little more functional. And I really don't care if the gray gets on this top part because I'm pretty sure that's going to be covered up eventually. I keep getting paint on that thing. It's my 40th birthday gift wish list needs something to cheer me up. Well, hopefully mid next week. I'm aiming to restock everything. So that is my goal. And I have so many kit ideas and designs to create. First of all, I gotta get my laser cutter working, and then I gotta just find the time to make them into kits. So this, because this area is a little bit wider, I am going back, and anywhere I have a little bit of a transition between my strokes, I'm just kind of dabbing so you don't blatantly see separate brush strokes. I want to make sure it looks as smooth as possible, because I tried to do them in strokes like I did the skinnier piece, but when I do that I get like little lumpy areas, and so I just go back and kind of flatten those out. This is my first live chat. Yay! I'm working on the radio prompt. That's awesome. I've already seen a few radio prompts and they're looking really, really cool. And some people used Daniela's method of using wood, and some people did paper. So it's been cool to see the different methods that people have done. And some people have done their own method. All right, so I am going to, I need to do this center piece. Oop. Every now and then the Post-its need to be replaced, but these are still good for now. There's just the tiniest bit of siding that goes up between the windows that I need to get. So I'm actually just going to dab paint in there. I'm not even going to try and do a brush stroke because it's so small. Can y'all see? Okay. It's too small for me to actually like make a brush stroke in there. So, okay. And if you do start going over it too much, it will pull the paint back up because of the Crackle medium. I can't think of anything for the prompt. Maybe the old radio makes mics in a radio studio would be fun. Yeah, you can take it, you can do your very own interpretation. So like when we did the prompt Storm, I ended up doing a painting of my dog Stormy, which it isn't probably the original intention of that prompt at all, but that's what I thought of. So, and you know, I enjoyed making it. So definitely go for whatever you are inspired to make. I don't get to make any minis till I'm done making my daughter's pile of masks for school. Everything about that sentence makes me sad. I know. We got our virtual learning space set up in our house, and I'm just trying to make the best of it. Okay. I want to make up one of those old kitchen radios that are mounted up under the cabinets. I remember those. My grandma had one in the kitchen I was working on was for her, but I got stuck. I don't know how to make it. I vaguely remember those. I wonder which one of my relatives had one of those. Okay, so now I'm going to go down this side. So I think the next thing you probably need to paint are these open areas here. And I was kind of thinking of the yellow for these big open spots. So it would be these and these. So let me put the yellow up here so y'all can kind of talk about it. So let me know what you think. I think the next biggest area needs to be the lighter color. Aira, what was your first miniature? My first miniature I ever made was it was kind of a prompt type thing. There was an online miniature making group that I was a part of. And when I first joined, they would give you like a household item every month. And then you had to make a miniature out of that household item. And so the month when I joined up, the item was paper clips. And so I decided to make a paperclip chandelier. And it was not good. Not good at all. And in fact, I kind of hid it in a drawer for a while. Like, I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. But then later on, I was going through that drawer and I pulled out what I just thought was like a pile of like paper clips that were all hooked together. You know how you have to like unhook paper clips sometimes? And I realized, oh, this is my chandelier. And I think I got rid of it at that point. But that was my first miniature. It wasn't great, but you know, I think, you know, all you have to do is just have a passion to keep going, and I'm glad I did. Everyone's liking the yellow idea? Okay. Watching paint dry. I did think for a while, Kat, that putting like come to Bentley House Minis to watch paint dry or something as like my slogan for my YouTube channel. But then I thought maybe some people will take that as like, take it as that's literally what we do, which sometimes. But when there's crackle in the paint, it's fun to watch it dry because it's like magic. Okay, these Post-its are about out of stickiness. Put these over here. Okay. All aboard the yellow train. Do you have a picture of the paperclip disaster? You know, somewhere deep hidden in my computer backup, I am sure I do. I would love to find that. Now that I've actually started making a career in miniatures, I think that would be a really great picture to have. Kind of as an encouragement of, you know, this is where I started and I just kept trying and kept going, and so I'll have to look for it. Okay, I guess I can move this back now so we're not off too many crazy angles here. All right, so we're almost done. I think that's all the gray. Do you think I should incorporate the gray in these bump out sections also, or not worry about that? Don't know. These Post-its really don't want to stick to the Crackle medium. Which is going much faster than the Adams house for sure. The siding probably took about this, do I want to say that? Same amount of time? No, probably not. Probably took about 75% of the time because the siding is smaller and I still had to glue each piece down one at a time. So it probably didn't take as long just because I didn't do all the way up the house. But it's smaller to match the scale of the house, so it still took quite a while. I think all your houses should be either haunted or abandoned. I would love that. Then I wouldn't have the captain's quarters if I did that all the time. I like to try and do other things. I still probably won't ever do like a pristine, everything is perfect type of house, because I really love when things are imperfect. I think that's a little bit more realistic when things are just a little bit imperfect or a lot of bit imperfect. So I can't imagine myself doing a just like a pristine, beautifully clean, everything in its place house. I can't picture myself doing that. Never say never, but I definitely like a little bit of chaos in my projects. Will the pop-out part eventually have ivy on it? Maybe. It would probably be good to have some greenery climbing up the outside of the house, because if it's been there for years, with our skeleton family living in it, makes sense that there would be some kind of greenery trying to take over. Which is one thing I really love about doing abandoned projects, is trying to figure out where nature would just kind of take over a project. Okay, so now we're on to the yellow. Try to figure out what brush I want to use. I watched your chair ottoman. It was very helpful for tufted fabric because ravens was kind of hard. Well, I'm glad it was helpful. This is why you're my favorite. Thank you. What about a darker gray, like Carol said? A darker gray for, let me look. Darker shade of gray. Trying to find Carol. Do the pop-outs in the darker shade of gray you had. Okay. This is kind of like a really, it's like a dark blue. So you mean this part of the pop-out? So don't do yellow in here. Just do yellow at the top. I do want some yellow down here. Let me start with yellow at the top, and then we can kind of decide what we want. All right, move some Post-its. Move everything. Okay. So I will tell you a little bit about my brush selection. I'm choosing something that has like a chiseled tip to it. The reason these are good, which y'all may already know this, but you can get to a really nice point and get into these corners, like getting into this area right here. If you do a flat brush, like this one, you can do it, but it's more likely you're going to get a bunch of paint on this side. So having a chiseled edge brush is really going to help get into some of those corners. And then once you're out of the corner, you can flatten back out into like a flat brush stroke. Oh, maybe do yellow for the doors and dark blue for the frame. I could do dark blue for all the frames. Then that would pop out the yellow. Yellow at the top, gray at the bottom. I think a nice coral would be a lovely pop color. Well, I also have this color. This wasn't in my original set, but I thought it was very 70s. So it wouldn't surprise me if, you know, when they redecorated, they put a little bit of 70s flair in there. And I was also thinking there could be parts of the wall where maybe they went in and like painted like a little flower or something. I don't know. I was just kind of playing around with it in my head. What brand are you using? So these are called Horizon Group USA, And these have been, okay, so this is a little bit of art teacher era. I had for years brushes in my art classroom that just fell apart until I bought these from Walmart. Okay, Walmart of all places. And they have these plastic handles, and the color of the handle matches the bristles. These bristles almost never, unless you're really rough with it and don't take care of it, almost never come out. And now that they're like a triangle handle, the brushes don't roll. And so these have been some of the best brushes, and I just keep rebuying them. They come in all different sizes. These two are in my water, but you can get one pack for like $3. And because I don't often, like I do some oil painting and acrylic painting, these are like some of the best craft brushes because you can just be really, really mean to them and they hold up. So, let's see. Crooked drain pipe would look cool on that building. It would. That would be fun to create too. Kind of like, y'all know I like games. I've watched several people play Hello Neighbor, and it's kind of this cartoony game, but it's full of color, and I really just like seeing the house in that game because it's got like the windows are boarded up, and the inside is crazy, and there's rafters, and there's beams, and they have a lot of crooked pipes. That would be really, really cool. Okay, I gotta start on some yellow here. Hey, we're doing pretty good on time. I know it's surprising they came from Walmart, but they have held up. And after I figured that out, I kept buying those for my art classroom, and the kids would like literally look for these brushes. They didn't want to use any of the other ones that came from school art suppliers. They didn't want them. They wanted these. Okay. Another thing about Crackle, so I just remembered I'm painting on top of Crackle. You kind of need to paint in the direction that you want the grain. I don't want to say the grain of the Crackle because I don't know if that makes sense, but you kind of need to paint all in one direction. And this is going to be interesting because this yellow is just a little bit thin. So we'll see how it looks. Kind of, if there's any parts where it kind of chunked up, I'm going back over it and just kind of flattening it out. But I don't want to mess with it too much. And the other fun thing about Crackle is if you take like a little piece of wire or something, you can kind of go back and mess with it a little bit while it's drying, and it will pull up chunks and make it look like the paint is just cracking off the side of the building. So if there's a part you don't like, go back and mess with it with just like a little wire, and it'll look like it's supposed to look a little crazy. Box stacking simulator? Are you talking about Hello Neighbor? Yeah, there's lots of boxes in that game. Need some color to balance the yellow. Yeah, I think, well, I might have to do like a wash over the yellow because it's really bright. And I will tell you, I did something a little dumb. Okay, so I just recently got a whole new set of paints. It was a gift from my parents. Thank you, Mom and Dad. But I went and I got these pre-mixed colors, which I like to do when I'm starting a project because, like, you may have noticed that this window is not complete. So I want to have the exact colors I want to use so I don't have to remix them and try and match them. So this is not the yellow I initially bought. I bought a different yellow. And when I got home, I looked at the top of it and it had a sticker on the top like this. and it had a wine glass on it. And I was thinking, why does this paint have a wine glass on it? Like, are you supposed to mix it with alcohol, or what? What are you supposed to be doing with this? Anyway, it was gloss enamel paint, which is like my first set of, what am I trying to say? Suggestions when buying paint is to pay attention to whether it's matte or gloss. And I totally did not pay attention, obviously. So I ended up with some gloss enamel paint, but I could not, for the life of me, figure out why there was a wine glass on the top of my paint. So I'm using a different yellow, and it's a little brighter than the one I was wanting. But that's okay. We'll make it work. Do not drink paint. Yes. There should have been a line through it. Do not drink the paint in a wine glass. Are there going to be siding on the spaces without? Nope, just these areas down here are siding, and then these areas are just flat. I'm not the hugest fan of how this yellow is cracking. So need to kind of make a decision here, and let me show it to you up close, because it's kind of, the camera's not showing you what it looks like. So let me know what you think. It looks so much brighter in person. On the camera, it does look a little bit faded, but it looks kind of bright in person. Like I said, we can always put something, we can put a wash over it. I do not want to go back and paint over it that much because it'll ruin the crackle. I thought I would hate the yellow, but it's awesome. Once you age it, the Airway, it will be perfect. Okay. All right, well, we'll keep going with the yellow, and I think maybe once we incorporate it everywhere, maybe mix it with some brown. Maybe I should mix it with some white. If your paint is having a hard time covering an area, if you mix white in it, sometimes it helps cover. So let's see. If you put some crack over the paint too, it will help. It also, a blast of heat will give it some good cracks. Oh, that's a good suggestion. I've never tried to heat it up. Use your dark wash. It looks dirty. That's good. Yes, I'm going to dirty it. I think I'm going to try and mix it with some white. I think we will test that out, and we'll test it in this panel right next to it, and then we can decide which one's better. Okay. So let me find, I had white. There it is. Get some white going here. I'm building the brown Fairfield posting on your work table Wednesday. Just wanted to thank you for getting me into miniatures, and now I've reignited my mom's passion and she wants to build a dollhouse. That's awesome. I'll look forward to seeing that. That'll be cool. So you said the brown Fairfield. Is there a different Fairfield, or is that the color you're painting it? Because I know I'm not completely knowledgeable of everything that Greenleaf has out there. So they could definitely have a different Fairfield. All right, let me mix this up. I'm gonna mix some of that white and yellow. Yeah, it's definitely looking more of like a lemony, like a light lemony color rather than a bright. Although this kind of goes against my point of having pre-mixed colors, but that's okay. We'll get through it. And as long as I know, just mix white with yellow, that helps. It's when I start mixing multiple colors together that it gets really confusing. The gray looks a little blue. Yeah, it does have a little bit of blue in it. So I think it's called colonial blue. I painted mine teddy bear tan. As far as I know, there's only one Fairfield. Well, that's cool. I like the idea of the lighter brown. I look forward to seeing it. Maybe I'll get some ideas. But I'm very glad that kind of reignited my passion for this project by working on it this week. And of course, promising in the last live stream that I would work on it kind of forced me to do it. But I just had to get through the siding. Like, that was one thing that was holding me back. Like, sometimes I think there's just parts of projects that we don't want to do, but like we can't move forward. I'm breaking my own rule here by going over the strokes a couple times. I'm just going to do it sparingly. I might try the heat trick if I can't get this to work super well. Okay. So, let me show you. Ara, I want to see the one you make for your daughter. I'm doing a dollhouse for my niece, and it's a little colorful for my taste, but I'm having fun playing. I do want to do the one for my daughter. I actually had plans for it when the whole COPPA thing happened, and I wanted to kind of include her, not include her face or anything, but just kind of include her talking about it. So let me know what you think about the difference here. This one's like a little lighter yellow. I think I like this one a little bit better. It's still definitely yellow. It looks a little like light cream on the camera, but it's definitely yellow. I don't know. I think things have chilled out a little bit more now, where I could include her voice and just not show her, and everything would be okay. Okay, y'all like that better? Needs a washy color on it. I think I'll definitely go back with a wash over the entire thing. We're done. Okay. I think it looks better with the gray too. Okay. Yay! Now let's see if I can go back over this. It may look like that panel's a little bit different, but maybe that one's going to have a little bit more of a weathering. It might be a little bit more moldy in this panel of the house, and that's okay. That happens in old houses, especially since this is the attic. So I'm just going to go back over it, and we'll see if the crackle shines through. If it reaches one more paint level up, we shall see. Yeah, I'm glad we stopped and thought about that, because it was just looking a little bit too bright. All right, it's still gonna look different from all the other ones. That's okay. We will age it just a little bit more. So I like aging things, because when there's a hiccup, we can just put a big dose of mold over it and it'll look good. If you let it dry all the way, it's harder to make those pulls in the paint. So I try to remember after each section to do that. So now that I've done that second coat, it's not crackling as fast. It may crackle a little bit, so we'll just keep an eye on it. Yay! My residents experimented there and didn't like either, left it as is. There was lots of painting being done. Yeah, that's nice to experiment with paint. Now, if I really hated this and it just really bugs me, I'll just paint it over brown, put a new layer of Crackle, and then go over it with the yellow. So even though it would take like a little more time to fix it, it's paint, so you can just keep layering it on. And I plan to figure out how to laser cut this window, because I pre-purchased House of Miniatures windows for all these openings, but I failed to think about the fact that they don't sell these specific windows. So I think I'm going to make an SVG file for these, and then whenever I get to that point, if anyone else is making the Fairfield, then I will just give those files out to anyone who wants them, and then you can have windows as well. They do come in the kit though, so if you just want to use the kit ones, then you can do that too. I had someone, I can't remember who it was, who was also doing the Fairfield, who said that they did not care for the kit windows. This is a weird angle to paint. My hand doesn't really go that way. Okay. All right. So we got that one. How wide are your siding pieces? Half the width of the atoms. I don't think they're half the width. Let me measure. Lost all of my rulers. There we go. Okay. Let me measure the top one because they're overlapped just a little bit. So they are 1/4 inch or 8 millimeters. So 1/4 inch or 8 millimeters. And then what I did, because the atoms actually had lines pre-carved on the kit, for these I just drew pencil lines every 1 inch or every 1/2 inch, just so I could stay on track, making sure that I was laying it flat and I wasn't slowly like tilting my lines. And then I started at the bottom and then just glued each siding piece over the top edge of the next one until I got all the way, and I had figured out where I wanted the siding to stop. And so once I got to that point, I just stopped. So that's how I did the siding for this house. Okay. Keep going with the yellow. Thank you, Paula. I'll let you know. I feel like I've gotten a little bit faster with SVGs, which would be good because making laser cut kits revolves around it. But I definitely appreciate the help too. I haven't had a chance to watch all the Fairfield lives. What did you do with stairs carpet? Okay, I'll show y'all the inside for anyone who's new. And I know watching all those live streams does take a while. Oops. All right. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I have planned coming up. I really want to make a push to finish the cardboard house and just go ahead and finish that project up. And so I think the next few videos are all going to be cardboard house. And I'm going to just do that until that project is done. Because it's actually pretty close to being done. All the rooms are filled with furniture. The outside's done, the inside's painted. It's just a few accessories that I need to finish up. So I think that's a good one to focus on. Oops, just got yellow on the chimney. And get finished. So I'm going to focus on those videos coming up next. And then in October, I think is going to be the final Adams October ever on my channel. There's just a few things we need to finish up. And in fact, I've had several people say, I thought the Adams Family project was done. And I think it's because I did this big production with the graveyard being finished. And so, I mean, that would make sense. The last one would be that the graveyard is finished. But I still have some things to do on the inside. And so I want to just go ahead and finish that project. And I honestly don't think I'll ever be completely finished with it. And I'm hoping that when things get back to normal, maybe like next year, have like a Adams Family open house type of thing. I think that would be so fun to to rent a place and just put the house on display and just invite everybody. And if you're able to make it, you're welcome to come and see the Addams family, and maybe we could all dress up as an Addams family member or something. I don't know. These are my big dreams for the future. But I think that would be really, really fun. But once I wrap up the Addams family house, I've made like a decision a while ago when I was trying to decide what projects I wanted on my channel. I made the decision a while ago that I only wanted one pop culture video or one pop culture project at a time. And so for the longest time, it's been the Addams family. And so when I do finish that up, and I know people are going to miss the Addams family house, and every now and then I may make a reference back to it or do like a little tiny project that ends up in it or something. But I want to do the Beetlejuice house so bad. And I want to get there, but I have to wrap up the Addams first. Like in my head, that's just something I have to do. So I'm going to start focusing on that for October, and what we get done is what we get done. And then that'll be kind of like the wrap up for the Addams family. And then we can move on to something else. I was so hoping there's going to be an Addams family October. Yes, our last one. But then maybe we can do Beetlejuice October the next year or something. So we definitely will keep it spooky in October always. All right, so I'm just kind of touching up a few places that I think the paint is just a little bit thin, or I don't like how it's looking. And then find my wire, kind of go back and, I might have let it dry too much. I was talking too much. It happens. Just kind of pull on the paint here and there. And then I have to get back to the captain's quarters. So I was standing in my studio, like looking around at all the projects, and I'm just like, my goodness, can we get any more projects up in here? So that's why I need to finish some before I can move on to another one. So I have to put the end stamp on a couple projects, and then we can move on to some new stuff. So I think that would be fun. Yes, I've mentioned Beetlejuice before. I have not forgot it. Beetlejuice with the attic town as Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Oh my goodness. If you do the Addams family thing, you could make it a meet and greet. We could buy out a hotel and have a small Bentley House Minis convention. My goodness. I would be so nervous planning something like that. I would rather just have like a come and go, and we'll have food, and everyone will be dressed as Addams family members, and we can all just come and have a party. I'm starting a house from scratch based on the practical magic. That'll be really cool. Dollhouses are always a work in progress. Yes, forever. Because by the time you're done with them, something needs repair, right? Maybe people could make books for the study in the Beetlejuice house. I definitely want to continue with having opportunities for people to contribute, because the books in the captain's quarters have been so fun and so amazing. So I definitely want to continue that, but we might have to make it something different. So I'll have to be a little creative on what we might need for the next project. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up in my camera. That's probably a little easier to see the whole thing. So I do think I definitely need some yellow down here, but maybe with some dark blue highlights, like you were saying, or the dark gray, because this is going to be a little bit, I think these need to correlate a little bit. So what do you think? if we have project suggestions, where do we send them? Because I got ideas. If you just post them on my Facebook page or send me a note, I have a list of ideas that I keep, and I can't guarantee that I'll get to all of them or all of them will get made, but I do keep them. And if one just like at that moment is like, yes, this is what we need to do, then I have a list and we can work on the list. I think the miniature town will be really fun. Party games, Wake the Dead. Oh my goodness. Yellow panels below the lower windows. Yeah, because there's paneling right here and in the middle and a little bit up here. So let me paint this yellow. Okay. Yellow doors with dark blue, gray outlines. Put the yellow as a thin line around the windows. Up here, purple rather than blue, like a plum color. I have this color. It's kind of plum. It's a little bit lighter than plum. I think I'll do the yellow on the bottom, and then we can start playing the balancing game, trying to get them to balance out. So we may not get to the windows tonight, but we will at least have a solid color scheme going, which will be great for me because then I can just copy it around the rest of the house. Okay, so let me move this up. This will be the easiest part to paint because it's right by my head. Inside minis are my favorite. I have a dollhouse in my doll tower, inside of which is another dollhouse. Inside of which is another dollhouse, but you can see it with a dentist mirror. Oh my goodness. It's getting tiny. Yeah, I have Wednesday's dollhouse is in the Addams Family house, and that was really fun. I don't know if I could go one step smaller. That would be pretty small. I think the smallest, and of course, I say this, and I never say never is never. Never, is that the phrase? Never say never. There we go. But I don't think I could go smaller than a 1/4 inch, because this is a 1/2 inch scale. And it's already, I mean, it's hard to get my hand in places. 1/4 inch is half the size of this. And then, I mean, if you saw my scale video, you know they keep going down. And it starts getting too small for me. Oh, sorry. Yes, I will show you the inside. Let me finish this panel and I'll show you the inside right away. I forgot. The inside is going very 70s. But it'll, again, be kind of a mixture of Victorian and 70s. I don't really know what that looks like. I probably need to make like a Pinterest board to get a better idea of my own idea. All right. All right, so the inside. So these are the stairs that are right inside the front door, and they came with the kit, although I did saw off the, there was like kind of silly looking handle on there. It just looked very chunky. I mean, it definitely could work, but I wanted something, well, I just took it off completely. I might put on a little bit more of a delicate one, but we'll see. It has like these front bay windows. This will be like the sitting room. This is going to be maybe a kid's room. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. This will be the master bedroom, which I want to do some wood paneling on the walls. And then this is the dining room. Oops, I'm just going to hit every camera as I go through this. There's a piece of siding in the corner. And I did do the wallpaper before I put it together, which helped immensely. And then this room is kind of like the family gathering area. So we've got our green shag carpet up here. And then this part is over there. There was another piece that stuck up here, which was again a little bit chunky. So I decided to saw it off and replace it. but the other piece broke off because I wasn't being careful. So this is the hallway here, and there's actually supposed to be a wall right here, and I think this is supposed to be the bathroom, but I don't ever put bathrooms in my projects, so I just left it open for some more space. This bottom area is the kitchen, and there's supposed to be a door right here. There's siding everywhere in here. It just kind of went all over the place. There's supposed to be a door right here, but I didn't have really any place to put my kitchen, and so I went ahead and covered up that door area with a little bit of wallpaper. And then when I put the siding on, I just put the siding over that area so you won't even know that that door is missing. But this is what the inside looks like. And all the wallpapers came out of a Dollhouse wallpaper book. I can't remember the name of it. Yep, I'm just going to hit everything. Can't remember the name of it right now, but it's in one of my older streams. I'm gonna have to take a drink of tea. Victoria says, half scale is my favorite scale. You can still get in a lot of detail. I'm starting to like it more and more. And honestly, the Beetlejuice house may end up being half scale because I can't really fit another house this huge in there. I sawed off the banisters on mine and the kitchen door into a window. Oh, that's a good idea. Turn it into a window. I had to approve Amanda's comment. Oh my goodness. Here's the banister. And so I ended up sawing here, but I sawed this to make this doorway a little bit more open. But when I didn't realize while I was sawing this, I was also sawing into my banister. And luckily, it broke off from the entire house before I completely sawed through the banister. Luckily, it broke off. But otherwise, I'd have a banister that was cut right here because I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Continue on with the yellow. Where did I put it? There it is. Teetering on the side of my desk, the paint palette. You know what that kitchen needs? What does it need? If it needs a half-scale retro stove, there might be one coming. Okay, let me move this back up. Continue painting the panels. And do you think I should paint these panels also yellow? Right here. Right above the gray. I think the yellow will look really, really cool when it's all aged. I was going to do this painting like this week and then us just work on like windows and stuff, but I was getting way too excited about painting, and I'm like, if I'm this excited about painting this piece, like that's what I should be doing in the live stream. And painting the outside of your house gives it such character that I felt like if I painted it and then did a live stream, there'd be people going, I don't recognize this house. Like, when did this house become the Fairfield? And so I definitely wanted to keep this part in the stream so that you could also help me make decisions too. When I bump my camera. We can see your ring light. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is the bottom of my camera right here. You have to do a big Beetlejuice house. thank you, Pamela. Yeah, I have loved seeing so many people make the cardboard house. That's been so awesome. And I just think it, like, the idea just came to me because we were just, like, drowning in Amazon boxes because you couldn't go anywhere. So if you wanted something, you had to order it. And so I was like, I bet other people have Amazon boxes, so let's just make a project. I'm starting a quarter scale witch house to display my daughter's minis. It's already making my eyes cross. Oh, it's so tiny. I'm kind of doing a messy job with these panels, but that's okay because I can clean it up when I go back and do the sides. It's gonna look a mess for a little bit. That's okay. Yep, looks a mess for a little bit. I keep forgetting to do the wire. That one's dried. And you can also do like the back of a paintbrush or anything to kind of pull at the paint. Once we do all these border pieces, it's going to look much more crisp. Trying to catch up on what y'all are saying. Your shingles, to make like shingles anything, the rooms have to be square or I cut my knuckles all up. So I get my outdoor mini kicks by watching Ara. That's awesome, Paula. As my... Oh. Aww. Sorry, I'm squinting to read everything, trying to make sure I read everything. Everything's in a different place right now. Okay, let's get this yellow painted on there. Now I'm being really messy. Okay. And then we said yellow up here. Okay, so I think our last yellow will be these two spots, and then we can do something with either the dark gray or the purple. Let me do these really quick. I'm just gonna get paint all over everything. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so let me know, do you think I should, what do you think, since this gray and this yellow is going to be right next to these window frame bits, what color should I paint these? So we have a dark gray and a purple, and it's actually a dark blue. So let me know what color you think for these frames by the window. Purple. Yes, if you want to share your Facebook, do put it on, you're always welcome to share on my work table Wednesday. I think that's a great place. Everyone, like if you're working on something, feel free to tag what you're working on, and that also helps me find your page as well. Sometimes I don't know y'all have pages. Purple. I think I see more purple. I see one for the darker gray, blue, purple, purple, blue, blue. Oh, now it's evening out. Dark gray lined with purple. Okay, I think we'll start with the purple. We'll see if we like it because it'll be easier to cover up the purple with the dark blue. If we think we need to cover it up. There's a chunk in that paint. Man, it's gonna take forever to paint this whole house. It's taken me an hour and 15 minutes to get to this point. But the fun part will be when we get to the aging. And they're so funny. Yeah, you'll have to let me know if you have something for me to follow. I love seeing what you guys are doing. Maybe don't put it on the last work table Wednesday one, because not as many people will go to that one. But wait for this coming Wednesday and share what you're doing on your page, as long as it's mostly like miniature or art related. Yeah, you can share it and share what you're working on. And it doesn't have to be all miniatures. Like if you like to paint or if you like to sew. I'm always like, people put sewing projects on Work Table Wednesday, and a lot of times they say, I hope this is okay. I'm like, I love to see that. I especially love to see Work Table Wednesday stuff from fabric creations, because that always amazed me, like quilts, crochet, or knitting. It always turns out beautiful and always amazes me. This is not something I do all the time. So definitely share those too. I'm getting paint everywhere. Sounding auto-tune. It may also be my voice is starting to cut out a little bit. All right, let me pull at this a little bit. If it's starting to sound like wobbly, if the audio is starting to do that, that's just what YouTube likes to do to my videos all the time. We need to make a name for it when my audio starts going wobbly. I could take this list off of my microphone stand, that would help. Okay, so we're doing purple on here, and then maybe we'll do dark gray on the outside and see how that looks. So, let me find purple. Do you think it's my microphone, or do you think it's like actually my voice? Because I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice. It could be the microphone. YouTube thinks it's funny to mess with my streams. Paula says, I'm filming my first video in 3 years next week. Yay! I've been cutting fabric for 3 days from my scraps. I'm making lap wheelchair quilts for when my husband can finally come home. Andy, that's awesome. That's amazing. Especially with the fall coming, that will be great. Not you, the machine. Oh, so it's not my voice. I wish I could fix it. It's not even giving me a notice. It used to tell me, hey, your something 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 is wrong. Right now it tells me that I have an excellent connection. I don't know. Although I do feel like I need a new microphone. It would be nice if I had a microphone that stretched like further than a foot away from it. So I might start looking into something like that. All right, so we're gonna go for purple here. And now I have to really start concentrating on making straight lines. Can y'all still understand what I'm saying? Can y'all still understand my words even though it's garbledy? Because I've tried a million times to restart the stream and it just, I've gone robotic. It never helps. It's so frustrating. Ooh, someone is screaming outside. I am in Texas. Texas. I hope whoever is outside is okay. Okay, so you can understand. Because I've tried switching mics, and what's weird is it doesn't do it until like an hour and a half into my stream, and it's still telling me everything is perfectly fine. And so I don't really know how to fix it. Like, I can't test it beforehand because everything seems fine beforehand. So I'm just kind of stumped. Maybe if I get a different microphone, it'll just magically fix, because this is the one I've been using for years and years. So maybe you just need to make that plunge. So what are we thinking about the purple? I mean, this is still going to have a window frame on top of it. If your voice sounds like that, you need a doctor. Please rap. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's going to be a window frame on top of this. So we could do the dark gray on the window frame. Okay, I see a couple people like the purple, and then I'm also going to do aging, so there'll be some like watered down black and watered down brown that kind of gets in the cracks and defines all these pieces. Right now it's all kind of mushing together, but there will be some age and some grime and stuff that gets in there. I just need to stop my streams at an hour and 20 minutes and it would never happen. I'm just kidding. Hi, Elaine. A dark gray on the window frame. Yeah, there's no way that I have found to fix it. All right, I'm going to paint this one purple, and then we will test out painting one of the window frames with the dark blue or the dark gray. It's really a dark blue. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, is that it's really close here, but I'll take like some black chalk pastel and really like grunge it into the corners, so there will kind of be an outline around this area. Paint one in the dark gray just to see. Sure. Let's see, it's not crackling too much, and this did end up crackling a little bit again, the paint on top, so I guess it will crackle 2 paint layers thick, maybe. All right, so let's try the dark blue. That's a good idea, because I have 2 windows, might as well try both of those, and then we can put the window over it. And all of this will be toned down a lot because of the aging. So it definitely won't be this bright and colorful. We just got to start bright and colorful and then tone it down. I think the purple needs to be a bit deeper. Let's see what do you think of this? It's mixing with the purple. Hold on. This paint is so thin. What brand is this? Okay. It's a brand I'm used to using. It's just not going on very thick. I'll hold it up a little closer to the camera when I'm done. It's kind of pulling up at the purple where I had already painted it. I think the purple is one color too many, confusing the eye. Yeah, we don't want it to get too out of hand. But I paint everything brown automatically, so adding color to anything is kind of out of my comfort zone. So we're just playing it by ear, see what we come up with. This paint is acting really, really strange with the Crackle. It's just kind of sitting on top and it's not really letting the paint sit on, like, grab hold of the house. So it's really strange. Okay. Let's see. Let me know what you think. Dark blue. The blue and the gray are too close. I'll get it to dry. Let me hold it back here. It looks like the windows are different sizes because this purple is actually blending in a lot with the gray. Stand far back. Well, it looks like we're split down the middle. Oh, my coloring books are getting out of hand. I think we're split 50-50 on the purple and the blue. I like the purple against the yellow. If you're going to go for a painted lady, the more color the better. Toss up. Yeah. Both of them get a little lost. You're right. Let me find. Okay. So I think this purple, I'll show you how much this gets covered up here. So the window goes in like this. So this could potentially be another pop of color here on top of the purple. And the purple, I guess it's okay if it kind of blends in. Era's vote. I get to be the tiebreaker. I'm kind of thinking the dark blue, but I tend to go for darker colors. But maybe there could be like some purple highlights, like on the windows themselves. So if we kept the house just the three colors, the gray, the dark blue, the yellow, whoops, and then did some little highlights with the purple or even the coral, someone said the coral color, on some of the windows and doors, That could add a lot, I think. Or a lime green. I love green. That would be fun. Dark blue for the frame, purple on the window frame. That's what I was kind of thinking. Maybe purple, maybe even the windows could all be different colors. Is that too crazy? Is that too crazy? I like Cindy's idea. Cindy. Okay, well maybe we will do the dark blue, gray, and yellow, and we will save the purple and the coral, and maybe we'll do a windows and doors stream next time, because that will kind of fill out everything if you want. Let me know if you think that's something you would want to do, or if you just want me to do it and then move on to the next thing, because I want to make sure that I'm doing things that y'all want to see in the live stream. The interesting thing is that the dark blue is not behaving very well, so maybe I just didn't shake it enough. Let's try that. Nothing too crazy in the 70s. The coral color will look more 1970s. That's true. Maybe they just repainted the windows and the doors in the 70s. Because some people never really paint their house, but they repaint their door. Can we see the window on the dark blue? Yes. Well, honestly, I think I have to shave it down a little bit to get in here, but we can try. Some of these are a very tight fit. In theory, they should all fit the same, but they don't really. So it kind of looks like this. So, if we did, okay, these windows are really cool because you can slide out the glass, and then you can just paint the frame without having to, you don't have to worry about painting the glass, which is really awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a sample here. And you have to imagine these aged and kind of dirty and covered in grime from the years. All right, not perfect. The Houses in Edward Scissorhands. I need to go back and watch that. I remember them being a lot of fun colors. I vote you choose and do the windows. I'd love to see more inside next stream. I want to get to inside too. I love doing inside stuff. Like we need to, but that's another, like, how am I going to get that on stream very well to see it? Cat does not like the coral. Some people do like the coral. Hi Kelly, we are making a colored mess. Now add the purple as an accent. When that dries, I will add purple on there because I just want to have one sample window that I keep going back and forth on. So I'm going to start painting these the dark blue because I think I'm really, like, if I look at this, I think I'm really digging the dark blue, and that's just my personal preference for darker colors. And I think it'll make a good background for whatever I decide for the window and door inserts. All right, so let me continue with the blue because I'd really love, how much time we have left? We have about 20 minutes. I would love to have this mostly painted so that I at least have an idea, and then I can paint the rest of the house, and then we can kind of figure out the doors and windows. Elaine, I wish she could. She started doing Duolingo to try and learn Portuguese, but she hasn't learned a lot. I know that she wishes she knew more. Window deep purple, window sill orange. Purple, not coral. I'll try the purple. This is turning into I don't feel bossed around. I feel like I would rather get opinions, and because a lot of my projects have been better because of the suggestions that I have gotten in the comments on my videos. And like with the ship stream last month, it was in the comments, someone suggested the lights. I wasn't even thinking about adding lights, and the lights added so much. But when it's 50-50, I definitely will kind of make a final decision. And this is meant to be a stream project. And so I think it's fun having all sorts of input. I just hope no one's feelings are hurt if I don't go with their exact wishes for the house. But it was pretty split. You like the light purple with the dark blue better than the light gray on here? The gray was the only thing I was certain about. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go with the blue. Sometimes it can be a tough decision, and it may end up the next week I go, well, I'm gonna repaint this part. You never know. Okay, so let me know what you want me to do for the next stream. Do you want to see more working on the outside, which would be windows and doors? I just painted my microphone. Did you hear that? Nice little brush stroke across the grate here. Or do you want me to do something on the inside? I really do need to figure out, what do I need to figure out? Probably ceilings. I need to do some ceiling stuff. Let me know what you want to see, because I don't want to do boring stuff y'all don't want to see. Good night, Elaine. Okay, so let's keep going with the blue. I think I'm going to do all the outside blue. This may need 2 coats. I don't know what's going on with this dark gray blue color. It is not having it with this Crackle. Outside, inside, inside. The gray has blue undertones, so the dark blue goes, then yellow coral or contrasting. There we go. So there we go. Finish outside, then inside. Inside. Okay. It's another toss-up. I kind of go back and forth a lot anyway. I did that with the Addams Family house for a while. I kind of went inside, outside, outside. Just because you kind of get bored doing outside stuff. And you're like, oh, I want to work on the inside. Then you get bored of the inside stuff and you work on the outside for a little while. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to turn this. I'd honestly enjoy whatever you decide on. I think I've just decided, like, if I'm excited about something, that's probably what I should be streaming. Like, painting this was exciting for me. Because it's really going to give the house its character, and I think, you know, it's more fun to get some others' opinions, because honestly, if I wasn't doing this stream, I'd probably sit here and stare at it for about 3-4 hours before I put any paint on it. But knowing I had a stream, it's like, okay, I have to make a decision. I have to go pick out some colors. So, here we go. Is there a theme to the house? The theme is, yeah, Jillian said it, 70s, goofy, corny. So it's a Victorian house that was redecorated in the 1970s, and it's got a corny, spooky skeleton family living inside of it. I probably need to sum that up in like a thesis statement. It's a little bit more well-rounded. 4 a.m. Oh my goodness, Berta. I remember those days, though. Yes, I do. It was nice to have company. Yeah, the colors are fun. Is there a frame for the church window towards the top? This window, yes. There's one that comes with the kit, but I ordered these pre-made ones, but they don't have pre-made ones for this window. So I am going to laser cut that window and also this circular window. So I'm going to have to do those myself, because the wood quality on the Fairfield kit is just not super, and it probably won't match the quality of the wood on the windows I purchased. Have you ever added stones to a house, like around the base? Yes, I have added stones to, like, one of my first videos here on YouTube was a tour of a cuckoo clock house, and I think it's still up, and that has some stones that are on the front porch of that house, and they were made from egg cartons. Yeah, egg cartons, and I want to do that again sometime and do like a tutorial over it. It's a pretty common miniature technique, but like, I just want to do like a comprehensive, because it makes really realistic looking stone. Part of our job is to keep you laughing. Oh, you guys do a great job. And I don't even see everything y'all are talking about. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you recommend Greenleaf to a newbie? Because I saw they have them on Wayfair and I'm interested, but also a little scared. So, Greenleaf kits are really well designed as far as like they make interesting houses, and but the wood quality is what I have the biggest problem with, and sometimes the tabs on the houses don't always line up. So I think if you start, oops, just messed up there. If you start with a smaller Greenleaf, one that has like maybe 2 or 3 rooms, just to get a feel for it, they're cheaper than like Real Good Toys houses, but it's because of the wood quality. Real Good Toys kits are the ones I made the Addams Family house out of. They're a little bit more expensive, but it's made from MDF, and it's, I think, a little bit easier to work with. You're not trying to line tabs up, and the quality of the wood is a little bit better, but a little bit more expensive. Yes, I do have a skeleton dog from the Remint collection. I'll have to get him out before I go. So I think I'm just going to paint the rest of everything a dark blue. And then I'll use the windows and the doors to kind of pop color out. Man, I thought we were going to go so quick on this. but my yellow didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. But I think we got it figured out. I like the dark blue against the yellow. That was a weird noise. Lee Valley in Canada sells real good toys houses. Hobby Lobby has them as well, and you can use a coupon on them if you have a Hobby Lobby near you. Oh, Hobby Lobby lowered their prices on real good toys kits. Well, that's good, and then you can also use a coupon. Because you can get a 40% off coupon for anything in the store. I think this dark blue is going to take 2 coats. I don't know what's going on with this paint. This is kind of abnormal. I like the color. It's just like this went down really thick and covered everything on one stroke, and this is not covering. There's a book, Building Miniature Houses and Furniture, that is excellent in guiding you in making your own dollhouse from scratch. I'm going to have to get that. I'll have to read through that book. I think it'd be like a dream come true to like design my own dollhouse. That would be so fun. Like as a kit that I could like put out into the world. I think that would be a lot of fun. No coupons on houses anymore? That's a bummer. Well, I guess no coupons on the Hobby Lobby houses. All right, one more line here. It's weird because normally blues are the easiest for cover. I know, that's why I'm thinking something might be a little off with this particular bottle of paint, because I've bought this brand several times and it's not been a problem, but I'm thinking maybe it's reacting with the crackle really weird because it's not crackling. Let me show you up close what it's doing. So it's not crackling and it's not covering, which is very strange because I put crackle all over everything. So I don't know what's going on with this paint. Let me tell you what color it is and what brand it is. So it's Anita's Stormy Blue, named after my dog, and it's not working very well. I could call the kit Bentley House. I could. I hope, like, I'm planning on one day having a bigger laser cutter, and I think it would be so fun to design and laser cut a kit. It would be like the biggest kit ever. I know, it's so weird. I don't know what's going on with this paint. Very strange. My daughter just bought the house you have for 99 bucks for the Allison Jr., which is the main body of the Addams family. It's a pretty good house. Pretty solid. I might start with like a half scale or a quarter scale just to work out the understanding of how to put a dollhouse kit together, but we'll see. Have you ever seen Jelly Bean Row in Newfoundland? That would be a great kit. I haven't. I have to look that up. Actually, that sounds familiar. I'll have to look that up. So this is how it's looking. I think painting this dark blue is going to take a little bit more concentration of me like going over it several times, but I will post an update on my Instagram when I have this piece finished so we can kind of see, but I think I'm going to follow just the gray, the yellow, and the dark blue and and I'll age everything, and well, do I want to age it before I put the window on? Maybe we'll age it a little bit. And then I'll post a picture of that. I'll do the whole house, and then I'll kind of play it by ear on what we do in the next one if we want to do windows and doors, because I also have to install them on the inside, because they install on the outside, but then have to install the inside too. So we'll play it by ear, and whatever I'm excited to share is what we'll do in the live stream. Pre-order for the house. 4 a.m. Oh my goodness. It's a set of row houses. Each one is a different bright color. I think I have heard of that, but I'll look it up again. Yeah, I'll probably do the window frames separate. No, don't kickstart the Bentley house. I'm not even not even ready for that. I'll let you know if I get to a point where I feel like I have the headspace for that. Last year, my nephew found the Allison Jr. in a thrift store for $10 and told me his inner Andy told him to buy it. He is working on it for his daughter. That's awesome. That's a good deal. Really good deal. I'll let y'all know when I'm ready for a Kickstarter. Not quite yet. Well, I think that's probably where I'm going to end it for tonight. Thank you for coming to a stream to literally watch paint dry. We are making you do this. I want to do it, just I can't right now. Like I said, I'll post updated pictures on Instagram, and if I make any changes, I'll make sure and list what I made, the changes that I made. Please do not kick the era. Yes, please do not kick the era until the era is ready to be kicked. You have architecture in your bones? Yes, I love architecture. I didn't end up being an architect, but definitely was the way for me to go, for sure. Well, thank y'all for being here, and that will be it for our stream tonight, and I look forward to the next one. Thank you for helping me renew my passion for this project. Without the stream, it'd probably be sitting there for another year, or maybe even go in the attic so I didn't have to look at it, so I appreciate that. And look forward to the cardboard house videos coming up, because I want to wrap up that project. And then we're going to wrap up the Addams Family in October. And we're just going to start wrapping some things up. But that doesn't mean it's the end. That means we're starting something new, which is I'm super excited about. Because I always get excited at the beginning of projects. It's the middle part, like this. The middle part that I just kind of... It's like the cardboard house. I was so excited to start, and I just started making videos, and then it was like the middle part, and I was like, so just have to get through the middle to get to the end. So, all right, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night, or a good day, or a good evening, or a good sleep if it's the middle of the night. And I will see you next month. What month is this? August. So I'll need to see you next in September. On the second Friday in September. Oops. But before then, I'll have videos up. So, all right. I never know how to say goodbye or how to end streams. So, it takes me forever to say goodbye. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for sharing. I'll be posting some of my pics of my Fairfield on Work Table Wednesdays. Good. I am excited to see that. What date will that be? Let me look. That will be on September 11th. September 11th. Good night, everyone. What time is Work Table Wednesday? Work Table Wednesday is all day Wednesday on my Facebook page. You can post anytime. And you can post Thursday too. It's just sometimes I don't see them if you post later in the week. So if you post on Wednesday, I always make sure I look at everyone's posts on Wednesday. Bye. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Can you share the kit you'll be using for Beetlejuice if we want to